So good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the webinar on WaterWise, Effective Soil Water Management Practices and Technologies. Today, we are going to talk about soil water management for boosting climate-resilient agricultural systems. And this is actually a hot topic that generated significant interest when it was first announced at the Asian Soil Partnership meeting in May this year. So because of this request, that's why we are setting up this webinar today. Before starting with the technical presentations, I would like to remind you that this webinar was organized as part of the implementation strategy of the Asian Knowledge Hub on Sustainable Soil and Land Management in the region that I'm briefly going to present to you. So if you give me just a second, I will start sharing my screen again and introduce you to the hub. Okay, I hope you are able to see my screen. I will just start the presentation mode. So as I said, this webinar is organized as part of the Asian Knowledge Hub on Sustainable Soil Management that was established to facilitate the exchange of knowledge and experiences on sustainable soil and land management in the Asian region, to enhance the capacity of individuals and organizations in implementing sustainable soil and land management practices, to facilitate the identification of knowledge and technology gaps that can boost research and development activities, and to encourage the adoption of proven methods while inspiring innovation in sustainable soil and land management. Ultimately, we really aim to learn about what countries are doing during this webinar, and therefore actually during this webinar, but also throughout the activities of the hub. And this is meant to support also project formulation and implementation activities. So the hub reports and describes countries' original engagements to assess, monitor, preserve, restore, or enhance soil health over time, as well as United Nations contributions to the topics. So we are talking about equipment, online applications, certification systems, training systems, awareness raising systems, and others. However, please note that in the hub, it's specific project findings and research studies are not reported. The hub was set up to be an open access live tool so that stakeholders have the ongoing chance to submit contributions. If you have something that you would like to have reported in the hub, please send me an email and I will be happy to discuss this with you. At present, we have tools that were collected using a participatory approach that involved the public sector, non-profit sector, academic and research institutions, and of course, intergovernmental organizations. But actually, when we talk and look at the use of the hub, this is meant to support a much larger range of stakeholders, including farmers, extension agents, policymakers, and even the private sector. Information in the hubs are organized within 5 categories, depending on their core scope. So we have tools falling under soil assessment, monitoring, and mapping, others falling under policy, then investments, field activities, and communication. And this includes awareness raising. Today, the tools or actually strategies presented under the webinar falls under soil assessment, monitoring and mapping, and field activities. Through the discussions, we aim to share practices and technologies for the sustainable management of soil water in agricultural fields that increase their resilience to climate change. We also aim to collect information on priorities as well as knowledge and technology gaps for the sustainable management of soil water in Asia. And not last, we would like to support the organization of the International Soil and Water Forum 2024. With this, I would like actually to announce this forum that is taking place in Bangkok, so in Thailand, between 9 and 11 December 2024. We are about to launch the website, so I will keep you informed, or please keep an eye on social media for additional information on the event. Looking at the soil component of the forum, we will look into erosion, decision-making support systems, governance, so policy, innovation and technology, transboundary impacts on the transboundary impacts of unsustainable soil management practices. So we will also make a nice link between soil, air, and water. And ultimately, we will also touch on on salt-affected soils that also relate to water management and sand mining, as you well know. The forum will be much focused on solutions. There will be a technology and innovation fair. So we will open a call for interested partners to submit applications for having a stand at the technology and innovation fairs. Of course, we will have side events and special partners events, and also ministerial and stakeholder dialogues. We really hope that through it, we will promote a multi-stakeholders partnership, and therefore I very much encourage you to attend it as soon as we launch the call and open the floor for registrations. So this was all on the hub. Thank you very much for your attention. Just a second that I stop sharing my screen. And now, before getting into the discussion, I would like to interact a bit with you all, because this webinar is meant to be interactive. So I have a few questions that I would like to ask you. And I would like to ask you this question through Mentimeter, that I hope you already know what it is. If not, I will tell you immediately. I will share my screen again. Sorry. Many screen sharing. Okay. Basically, Mentimeter is a very nice tool that will allow us to collect your written inputs. And inputs in this case will be related to a few questions. So the first question is the following. Can you please tell us what are the main challenges in soil water management faced by your country? So you can answer either through your phone by opening the QR code, or otherwise by clicking at the link that I'm also putting in the chat. So through this link, you will be able to submit your replies. I will keep these on screen for a little while, so you have the time to think, open the link or the QR code and type in your answer. So what are the main challenges in soil water management faced by your country? I see that replies are already coming in, but I just keep the link a bit longer on screen. So first answer, here we are. Okay, so we talk about salinity intrusion. I think it's a seawater intrusion. Hardness in water that has high EC, and also water deficiency. Groundwater is being polluted, and also soil due to industrial waste. And then we have irrigation, water supply and distribution schedule. Very good. What else? Anything else? If not, let me ask you one more question. What are the main impacts of improper soil water management in your country? Let's set a bit the scene. Again, I'm reporting the link in the chat. What are the main impacts of improper soil water management in your country? Even the panelists can answer this. Don't hesitate to click on the link. I will now show you. Oh, look at this. The previous question. So we also have water crisis and water productivity, prolonged drought and high sea level. There is unpredictable rainfall pattern for the cultivation seasons, and the poor farm preparation practices such as leveling issues in fields. Also, the issues relate to the fact that most of the fields are rain-fed. We also have water scarcity, soil salinity, inefficient irrigation practices, and the soil water management challenges included soil salinity, water allocation, political influences, and social interim. Very good. Let's see what were the answers to the other question, to the second question. So we talk about impacts, soil degradation in general, lower yield, reduced soil fertility, wastage of water, reduced agricultural productivity, soil health and people health is degraded. Again, low harvest, high water consumption for cultivation, and less water productivity. I think this set a nice baseline for discussion and also emphasize the fact that this webinar is very much maybe needed, no? And hopefully can bring something to you. Now, allow me to give the floor to the first speaker of the day. So we are going to talk about some case studies from countries. We have a number of panelists and experts with us today. Unfortunately, I'm already telling you that although we anticipated the participation of colleagues from Nepal, Dr. Shukla had a last-minute emergency, so he could not be with us today. But he is committed to tell us about imperatives of wise soil and water management practices in Nepal's hills and Terai agroecology at another webinar. So said that, I would like to give the floor to the first speaker of the day, that is Dr. Surendran, Principal Scientist, Soil Science from the National Bureau of Soil Survey and Land Use Planning of the Indian Council of Agricultural Research in India. Dr. Surendran will tell us about applications of DSS on soil and water management for improved crop productivity under changing climate. So, Dr. Surendran, the floor is yours. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, and I hope my voice is audible.
Yes, we can hear you a bit far away, but we can hear you.
Okay. Just a
minute. As we are waiting for your screen to be displayed on our screens, I would like to remind participants again that this is an interactive webinar. We do not encourage interrupting speakers during their presentations, but you can start writing questions in the Q&A box and also prepare questions to ask live during the interactive sections. Please, Dr. Surendran, the floor is yours.
Thank you. My screen is visible?
No, not yet.
Oh.
At least not to me. I don't know about the others.
No?
Yes, now yes, I can see it.
Yeah, Thank you for the opportunity. So as rightly pointed out, I will be discussing about the sustainable soil and water management practices which can improve the crop productivity, at the same time showing the resilience to the climate change. So application of decision support systems in water and nutrient management for improving the crop productivity in changing climate is the topic. And so if you look at the data, why we want to go for, especially considering the country like India, here insisting the food security is the prime importance. So if you look at the current status, India is producing around 320 million tons, which is sufficient for the population. But if you look at the target provided by FAO, if you can look at it is around 450 million tons. Which means almost 1.5 times you have to increase our productivity, but the resources or whatever we are currently having will be similar or it may be deteriorating. So you need to manage the soil and water management in a better way. So with that objective, we did few case studies in the southern part of India, especially, and a few case studies in the northern part of India too, which I will be discussing today. Within the stipulated time. So I may be running a little fast to cover the entire things, whatever the case studies we have carried out. So this is one of the project with EASA and DST, means TIFAC, which is a think tank in India, supported by DST. So here we applied the FAO and EASA model of agroecological zonation, which has 5 modules which look at the climate change scenarios, especially how the agricultural productivity is being impacted by the climate change. So we will look into the historical data sets, then the current scenario as well as the future scenario. So it has 5 modules. Based on that, we have attempted for the 3 study regions in India, Kerala, then Bundelkhand region, and as well as Gujarat. So the results showed that the climate change is a reality, and we could observe that based on 100 years or 110 years data, we could observe that after 1960 there is a pattern, or after 1950s there is a pattern in change in rainfall, especially with respect to the intensity of rainfall is increasing, climate extreme events are increasing, similarly dry years are increasing. So such kind of things has been noticed. So that is a reality. Then we applied that to the agriculture part and try to attempt that how it is affecting the crop growth as well as the crop productivity. So here the agroecological zonation model as well as the crop simulation models we have attempted, and we found that for many of the crops, the yield or the productivity or even suitability, for example, in this slide, if you look at the suitability for coffee, which is a particularly very suitable in the Kerala conditions as far as the current climate, but in the future scenario, almost 80% of the area is found to be not suitable. So if you look at the results from this studies, we found that many of the crops, based on the ensembled climate models for the future scenarios, whether it is 2050 or 2075, the yield is tending to decline. Similarly, different SSP scenarios. We compared with our RCPs initially when we started the project, but later we tried with the SSPs, and we found that it is going to decrease. So there we need to adapt for the climate smart agriculture practices. That is what the solution lies with. So in addition to that, we have done a very specific case study for the spices as well as the plantation crops too. How in the future scenario, the climate future climatic scenario, how the crop will behave. So here also the same similar objective and almost similar methodology we have adopted, but the crops were different, like ginger, turmeric, and black pepper. Same SSP scenarios as per the AR6 report, IPCC. And we found that many of the states which are currently predominantly growing these crops will not be suitable in the future scenario. For example, in the case of, if you look at the hotspots in 2050 or 2100, if you look at the hotspots, Maharashtra, Gujarat, and states of Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, where it is predominantly growing, the growing of this particular crop, turmeric, may not be possible. So under such worst scenarios also it can happen, whereas some new areas can also be identified based on the climate change. So as I mentioned, there is a definite impact on the agriculture because of this climate change issues. Crop yield, it is directly affected. Similarly, the crop quality is also getting affected. So how it can be managed? So this is what we were trying to look at, that based on the soil and water management options, how this can be managed with the help of a few decision support systems. So decision support system, just as a basic, will give you a set of decisions or set of strategies which will give you a higher productivity in terms of, if you are looking at agriculture point of view, or if you look at the soil health, higher sustaining the soil health will be the output that we will get. So we can choose the combinations, which one is giving the best, without going for any field experiments or farmer trials and all. So directly that will give you making a decision. So few of the decision support systems or tools which we have attempted here, or few I have listed. One is NUTMON, that is nutrient monitoring, especially for the nutrient budgeting related, means soil health maintenance, then agroecological zonation, then Hydrus, CropWatt, which mainly gives the irrigation scheduling as well as your irrigation scheduling with respect to, means water requirement to the crop, as well as irrigation scheduling for the canal command areas. Then carbon modeling using Century or OC and AquaCrop. So all this has been tested and validated at the farmers field as well as the experimental fields in the research stations. And we got a very good output or good results. Mainly, if you look at that, the results showed that higher crop productivity, improves the water and nutrient efficiency, and higher profitability to the farmers. So few of the case studies I will be presenting. One case study was done in Tamil Nadu, state of Tamil Nadu, where we conducted at around 20 farmers field for adopting the low cost drip irrigation, where we can save the water, energy, as well as the higher productivity. That was the output. And another one was in Kerala, which was at the DST, means Department of Science and Technology funded project, and it's done through farmer participatory approach. So we have done around 14 24 demonstrations at a different farmers field, and the technology was provided by us, whereas the farmers adopted all those technologies, and the results were evaluated at the farmers field. Mainly the water and means irrigation requirement, as well as the fertigation nutrient management was given to these farmers. These are the 21 farmers listed here. So here what we did is, initially we took the soil and water samples from that particular plots after discussing with the extension team, means Department of Agriculture, and then from their list we have chosen the farmers and collected the soil and water samples. So that samples have been analyzed and identified how much is the water requirement for a specific crop, as well as how much is the nutrient requirement for the specific crop. For example, in this case, you can see here that for the banana, this is the field at a banana plot. If you see 2 drippers for a banana, and if you are irrigating for 2 hours, how the soil wetting pattern will be there. So initially we analyzed using the analytical laboratory techniques as well as field techniques, and identified how much time the farmer has to irrigate. So irrigation scheduling was prepared based on these softwares, CropWatt as well as Hydrus. So here you can see the farmer needs to irrigate after 2 hours, means 2 days, sorry, 48 hours. You can clearly see from the slide. Similarly, for the vegetable plot, how it has been done. So there it needs everyday irrigation for a half an hour. So such practices have been given, and then the farmers were started adopting along with the nutrient management practices. So these are all few photographs of those farmers field, as well as the greenhouses or polyhouses, wherever control condition as well as the open field conditions. And a few demonstrations were also held. These are all the methods by which we analyzed for different crops. I'm showing only a few of the crops or photographs of that. So the output of what we observed from all the 24 plots, this is just what we recorded the data, but more than that, many farmers were adopting. So we found that almost in all the cases, we could double the yield, almost 100% higher yield. Then another important thing we could notice is the uniformity of the product. You can see from the images which I have shown earlier, the quality of the produce was also good, which has been analyzed in the laboratory also. So the farmers are getting higher market price. Similarly, shelf life is increasing. Then with respect to water saving, we could understand that around it was 30 to 50%, but on an average, you can say around at farmers level, it is around 40%. And that is not directly as a saving, you can convert that. It can help in recharging the groundwater or using in other sectors as well. Then 25% reduction in the fertilizer usage. Similarly, electricity economy, means energy saving is also around 25 to 35%, on an average 30%. And the crop, for example, in the case of vegetable, normally if it is 80 to 100 days crop, here under drip fertigation technology, it was more than another 20 days they will get, so that the extended crop harvest and finally the empowerment of farmers. Because some of the farming groups we have done in women self-help groups, so which give some economical benefits to the farmers as well, and their empowerment was happening because of that. Then coming to other crops, like for rice, we have tried different technologies like water saving technology and nutrient management using these kind of decision support tools. One is direct seeded rice, then aerobic rice, and similar nutrient management practices with the different levels, and then modeled the same with the crop modeling, especially DSAT as well as the AquaTrap by taking the photosynthesis, soil moisture measurements, morphological measurements, and physiological measurements. So based on those field experiment data at research station, these has been validated and then given to the farmers field for doing the adopting these kind of practices, and that has been evaluated with the spectral data or remote sensing data, which we could understand that, and this has been clearly explained in this particular paper. What are all the water savings techniques which can fit into Indian conditions under changing climate scenarios? Some of you, if you are interested, you can kindly go through such this paper. Then another thing which we were trying to address was carbon dioxide emissions or carbon sequestration, in other words, how to make it carbon neutral. So some practices which we tried, especially on the soil and water or water management practices, which we attempted with the elevated temperature, what it will happen. Similarly, with the higher moisture, what it will happen. So such kind of studies have been carried out, and the same has been attempted in the farmers field, and these are all the crops which we have tested: coconut, rice, black pepper, vegetables, and few of the vegetable crops, as well as sugarcane. So here, as I initially mentioned, in sugarcane, we found that the drip fertigation technology resulted in the higher crop productivity, higher water productivity, energy savings, apart from minimizing the carbon emissions. Sugarcane, another advantage is that it has the high number of, means a huge quantity of trash, around almost 4 to 5 tons per hectare. So if we can manage that properly by trash shredding with the proper tillage, which resulted in the higher productivity in the ratoon crop, means the second crop or third crop, the ratoon crop is also increasing, as well as improvement in the soil carbon stocks and soil health. And these are all few recommendations which we have given to the farmers, and it is being adopted now. Similarly, we try to evaporate, means partition the soil evaporation as well as the transpiration with these kind of models, so that the efficient irrigation management practices can be adopted. So in this case, it was a postdoctoral fellow who did this particular study. So here we tried with the different irrigation intervals as well as the soil moisture based irrigation. So this helped us to evolve a practice or adoption recommendation, which is a low-cost technology by which we can go for the higher productivity. Another one is a deficit irrigation program, where there is a water scarcity, how that can be effectively managed so that the farmer will not be at the losing end, as well as the productivity can also be maintained. And with respect to soil health, as I mentioned in the beginning, it's that soil and water both should be managed in a proper way to achieve the higher productivity under the changing climatic scenario. So here in this case, we attempted the soil nutrient budgeting, how much is coming into the soil and how much is going out of that. So that we computed using the decision support system, so that the farmers can understand where their practice is going wrong. So this has done in the farmers field as well, in around 20 farms segregated in different parts of southern India. And we understood that many of the farmers, the practice what they are adopting, it is showing the depletion or decline of nutrient, or in other words, you can call it as nutrient mining. So which needs to be arrested or to manage the soil health. So based on these data collected from the different fields, we have generated the agroecological zone based recommendations for nutrient as well as the water. Water in the sense it is the irrigation requirement. And this has been given to the agriculture department or extension department as the decision support system so that they can make use of that. This is one such software, especially the crop nutrient management software, and it will generate the soil health card in the local language as well as in English, how much they have to apply and what is the quantity and what is the interval they have to do. All these things will be given in the decision support systems. This is another one decision support system which will give you the soil erosion risk, how it is, means whether it is highly eroded, severely eroded, moderately eroded, or slight erosion. So that will be on the panchayat basis. This will help the extension officials, especially the soil and water conservation department officials, so they can, while planning for their next few year project, they can use this kind of decision support system. This is what I was telling about. This is the low cost soil moisture sensor based drip irrigation system. So these are the technologies which is available here. So if someone is interested, we will be ready to share such decision support systems or the technologies which are available with us. And I would like to acknowledge, first of all, for giving me the opportunity, as well as all these funding agencies, those who have supported along with my colleagues and all the research scholars. Thank you. And I'll be interested to take a few questions if it is anything. I hope I scheduled the time, I think.
Yes, you ran, but it was very, very good. Thank you. Indeed, we already have a question in the question and answer box. My suggestion is that we go through other two presentations and then we answer all questions in once and have a bit of discussion, if this is fine with you. Okay, yeah, thanks. So I would like to give the floor to the next speaker of the day. That is Dr. Hossein Deghanizanji, Director General of the Agricultural Engineering Research Institute at the Islamic Republic of Iran. So Dr. Deghanizanji, sorry, I'm terrible with the pronunciation of last names. It's a pleasure to have you with us today, and we are very much looking forward to hear your presentation regarding arid and semi-arid environments in Iran. So over to you, thanks.
Thank you. Lucrezia, yeah? Yeah, I have a same problem for pronunciation.
Good, very good.
And do you have my monitor or my screen?
Yeah, but I see myself. I think you're sharing the wrong screen. If you have two screens.
I will do it again. Maybe you have it now. Yep.
Yeah, it's still me. Okay, now yes. Yes.
Now yes.
Can you put it in, presentation mode?
Okay.
You have to switch, sorry, you have to switch screens because now we see your working screen, let's say.
Display sync.
Swap.
Is it correct?
No. Yeah, yes. Yeah, now yes, perfect.
Good, okay. First of all, I would like to say thank you, the FAO, to invite me to have a short presentation regarding what we have done in Iran based on the irrigation and water challenges. The title of my presentation is the Climate Smart Agriculture as a priority for the enhancing sustainable crop production in arid and semi-arid environment of the Iran. We believe the four main challenges for the sustainable agriculture in all the countries is the water crisis, food security, food safety, and the climate change. And the challenges is increasing by the time as we have experience in Iran. Regarding the water crisis, you can see a map of Iran, which all in Iran we have 609 the study area or agricultural plain, which almost 410 of them is facing critical situation of the water. The map is belong to 3 years ago, and I believe the number of the critical areas has increased by even last 3 years. Regarding the food security in Iran, we import dependent to the situation of the each year, some percentage of the protein and energy, and you can see it's changing by the year for the dry year and the wet year. And in average, almost 30% we import the energy and protein from the other countries. So for these challenges, the countries has many strategies and solution has done countrywide. I have listed the 6 of most important of them. The first one was the rehabilitation and the balancing program for the aquifers, which has started from 2014. The water scarcity adaptation national workshop started from 2017, and installing a smart meter for the agricultural wells, which has started from 2018, and the national cropping pattern plan started last 3 years, and also the national food security documents from the last 3 years. Recently, during the last 2 years, we have started to develop the smart irrigation along the countries. Based on that, we have different pilots along the country, almost in all the provinces. In the last 2 years, we had in the first phase, we had 23 pilots for the annual crops and also permanent crops, which cover something about 1,280 hectares. And for the second phase, it covered for the 1,100 hectare, which developed in 25 pilots and in the 10 provinces of the countries. During these strategies and program, we have tried to get involved by the private sectors, partnership to and the companies which have technology for the smart irrigation. So we work with the private sector, we work with the farmers, and we brought different technology by these companies. I have listed the technologies we are using in these pilots I have mentioned. The first technology was the soil water balance and plant phenology simulation system with ability to the connection to the soil water content sensor in the soil. The second technology was the smart tensiometer, which applied to those pilot farms. The third technology was agrometallurgy and ET estimation, which also used the technology for monitoring the soil water content and also the soil salinity. The fourth one was a smart application, which focuses on the weather and soil monitoring condition and bring the results for the farmers' decision making in an mobile application. All the technologies was monitoring by the scientists in the research institute and also in the university, and we have tried to see how much these technology by the private sector are accurate regarding the measuring soil water content. You can see in the graph on the left side and the right side, and also we have tried to monitor the salinity until we be sure the sustainability of application of those technology at the farm scale. The results of all the technologies, all of them shows that we could decrease the water withdrawal for the selected farms. And what is very noticeable here, which the farmers using the more water than needed, especially in the orchard and permanent crop rather than the annual crops. And also, so based on that, we could improve the productivity by applying the smart irrigation at the farm scale in the selected farm. But is it the smart irrigation is enough for the sustainable crop production? Based on the in the figure in the left side, we can see a figure of the water accounting system, which produced by the FAO almost 6 to 7 years ago, when we had the challenges in Urmiya Lake Basin in the Iran, and we understood the water we are using in the agricultural sector. Some part is consuming and some part returning as a returning flow, and the consumption water used is some part is beneficial and some part is non-beneficial. And also the return flow is some part is recoverable and some part non-recoverable. Based on that, we could say that to improve the sustainable crop production, the smart irrigation itself is not enough. In the right two figures, I have showed the water use or water withdrawals by the farmers for the wheat crops. You can see the water withdrawal by the farmers in different provinces is different actually. So it shows that we must work not only on the irrigation, but only on the other activity at the farm if we are looking for the sustainability for the agriculture. Besides of these challenges, in Iran, we are facing seriously on climate change. And you can see here the potential of evaporation variation during the last 50 years in Iran from 1974 to 2022. And you can see the potential evaporation is increased during the last 3 years, especially. And the annual potential is the same figures. So based on that, we concluded that we should look at the climate smart agriculture as an integrative approach to address the food security and also the sustainability in Iran. As you may be aware of that, the CSA introduced by the FAO based on the three indices, the sustainability increase of agricultural productivity, the adopting and building the resilience of the agricultural and food security system to the climate change, and also reducing the greenhouse gases emission from the agriculture. You can see in the map almost most of the countries which are facing the same situation in Iran, the water crisis and also the climate change, has started to work on the climate smart agriculture. And we do believe that in Iran, we also should pay attention to the climate smart agriculture, the CSA, if we are looking for a sustainability in agricultural sectors. We had started some practices in Iran, again, by cooperation of the private sectors, to bring the CSA to the floor for the decision-making people and also policymaker. One of the activities we have done is a smart water accounting system and resilience to the climate change, which already we have done for a selected provinces close to the Tehran capital city. The management dashboard, which we are introduced to the decision makers in the provinces are to give the information on the water demand, water withdrawal, cropping pattern, actual water use, the variation in the water productivity, and also the fertilizer demand, and also climate condition in the provinces. So this information could help the head of the agricultural office in each provinces if he is going to make a decision regarding the cropping pattern and also distribution of the fertilizer, and also managing the water distribution within the farmers. This information we do believe could help him, and we look for the higher productivity and sustainability. The other practices we already done and in the same provinces is the smart agricultural platform based on the IoT. In this platform, the key point is the economic specification, which you can see. It means that it goes further than the smart irrigation, and also give the information to the farmers regarding the tillage time, and also the tillage technology is needed for the farmers, and also the planting the crop at the right temperature of the soil, which could help for the germination and the percentage of the germination, the right time for the spraying at the farm from the temperature point of view, and also the proper wind speed, and also the harvesting time, which is very important for some agricultural production, especially for the grains. The other technology which has been practiced is the IoT-based smart system for the apple orchard. We have done it in the selected farm in apple, and the cases in this technology, we have considered the disease forecasting, the pest forecasting, the irrigation management, and also the growth monitoring, and also the nutrition management, and bring those information together until to help the farmer to make a better decision for his farm. The results of this technology shows that could reduce the pesticides consumption something about 50%, and also reduction of the fungicides something about 33%, which indirectly it caused the reducing the losses caused by the disease and the pest, and also the increasing the apple production. At the same time, the technology reducing the production cost by the input to the farm, almost something about 50% reduction of the spraying and the labor cost, which indirectly may it cause the reduction in the risk of the contamination of the labors and the pesticide residue in the product, and also improving the apple quality. The other activity we have done is the dry direct seeding of the rice, DSR, by the on-farm management improving. We work on the different irrigation systems in different provinces of the country, and as a result, you can see the conventional method by the farmers we compared with the sprinkler and drip irrigation for the rice production. And you can see we had decrease in the applied water by bringing the technology, something about the 43 to 49% for the DSR, and something about 37 to 43% for the unpadded transplanting on rice. And as a result, we had improvement on the productivity. When we have used the drip irrigation under the DSR, something more than 50%, and for the unpadded transplanting on the rice, even 52%. Of course, there was some yield decrease, but at the end, we were facing the higher productivity. It could be considered where we are facing seriously on the water crisis. As a remarks, we must consider the climate change for any effort for the food security and the sustainability, especially in the arid and semi-arid situation like Iran. The smart irrigation is useful for the water productivity, but it cannot be effective to saving the water and also for the sustainability in the agricultural sector. The CSA approach is recommended for the improving the water and economical productivity in a sustainable way. The IoT technology could act as a platform to bring the CSA to the farmers by the integrating and the goals of the CSA, and also finally the attention to the farmers' resilience in the climate smart agriculture is a keynote which we must consider for the whole activities which we are going to do for the sustainability of the agricultural production. Thank you very much for your attention. I didn't go much details for the technologies we have used, but we are ready to share these technologies and experience by the farmers, even through the FAO or directly from my institute to the other research institute in the other countries. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you, Dr. Hossein. It was a very interesting presentation, and there is actually a remark in the Q&A, I think it's from a colleague of yours, that states that you collect also biological parameters data, right? We cannot hear you. But I guess so. We cannot hear you,
Hello.
sorry, you have to unmute yourself.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, so you also collect biological parameters, right? Data on biological parameters.
From the field, yes, we did.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. I kindly ask you to keep an eye on the Q&A if any questions come up before we open the floor for discussion. We are now going to have another presentation from Thailand, and then we will have the first round of interactive sessions. So it's a pleasure to give the floor to Dr. Thorvang Phuphanthawong, President of the Agri-Nature Network in Thailand, that will tell us about how to safeguard our own survival through the Kok Nong Na model, and therefore is going to present a successful case study from Thailand. Dr. Thorvang, the floor is yours, please.
All right. Thank you very much for the FAO, RAP, Lucikia, Sia, and everyone here, especially the Land Development Department of Thailand, which is I'm actually a representative of the Thai farmer, which is my presentation may be different from both of researcher and scientists, which is expert in terms of academics and research and database, something like that. So I will use actually my slide is just only 3 or 4 slides. Let me share. Is that okay? Is there appear?
Yeah, we see your screen.
Okay.
Yes. Can you
Right.
can you please remove the Zoom window that shows, well, in this case, my face, because I occupy a lot of space in the screen. It should be on your
Alright.
top left side. No, it's on top of your presentation. Otherwise, let me do like this. Let's see. Okay, it's a bit better. Okay, I think you can go ahead. If you can remove it, it's okay. I will just remove my camera.
Thank you.
Can you please restart sharing your screen?
Yes, I will. This is appear.
Yes. Can you put it in presentation mode, please? Yes. I think
Yes.
it's okay. Thanks.
All right. Thanks. Thank you. Actually, I would like to introduce all of you a little bit. My name is Thorvang Phuphanthawong. I'm a representative of the Thai farmer today. And the topic that I will talk to you, I will share to you is the topic of safeguard of our own survival through Kok Nong Na model, a success case from Thailand. So the first of all, I would like to share you in the beginning before we move up to the next slide. The Kok Nong Na model is a kind of the land management, which is it's not only to create or to make the water and soil enough for the sufficiency life, but it's involved with for example, the economics is economics, and social, and environment. So the sample case today that I will show you, I would like to tell you what is Kok Nong Na model is. Kok Nong Na model is the land management model in Thailand that right now I believe that it is about more than 500,000 places or sites in Thailand, around Thailand. So the idea, the model is very simple. Our goal is trying to collect the water as much as we can. The water is the water from the rain, especially. So the land, they collect the water. We can actually we can collect our water in our land, so we don't have to rely on the dam or the public water. So this is a very simple way that in the past in Thailand we use this kind of innovation and knowledge of our ancient people. So the model is very simple. Let me have you seen my pointer? So in our land, in some place it's kind of flooding. They have experience with the flooding, like many parts of Thailand. We usually dig the pond, and the soil that we dig the pond, we create and make some kind of hill, a small hill, or we call core. This is a core or small hill, which is we got the soil from we dig the pond. And nong is mean the pond, which is to collect the water on groundwater. And na is mean the right field. And we have a ridge. So let me start from Kok or hill or higher land in our land. In Kok or hill, we build a house, we can stay and we can survive when we have the experience with the flooding or something with crisis right now. We are talking about the global boiling. So, and other part on the hill or Kok, we plant the tree forest and for benefit, which is a part of one of the our King Ramanai or King Bhumibol technique or philosophy. And or sometimes we call the planting 5 levels of plants. The 5 levels is composed of, the first one is the high plant, and the second one is the middle plant, and the third one is the low plant, and the fourth one is a plant on ground, and the fifth one is a kind of plant is underground, like a ginger. The middle plant, it could be the fruit, something like that. And the high plant could be something like the wood or the tree that we use for the economic structure, oak or beech or pine in Europe, but in my country it could be teak or something like that. So, and if we made the 5 level, and the 5 level is the benefit of the 5 level. We have the biodiversity, and the benefit, another benefit, when the rain is dropping from the sky, it's gonna contact with the higher plant and to fall down to the middle plant, then and the lower plant until floor on the ground. So which means we can keep the topsoil and to slow the force of the rain to erode the topsoil, our topsoil. And if we look at in the underground, the high tree, the root got to be very deep. The middle tree, it could be this middle something. This is the structure of the root on the underground. When the rain is falling, if we plant the forest like this, it's gonna be collect the rain maybe about more than 10 or more than 80% of the rain that falling to our land. It's gonna allow the water from the rain to put into the underground, which is we are collecting the first technique that we collecting the rain to the underground by using the forest for forest and for benefit. Then in the pond or swamp, we collect the water which is on ground. The water about 20% will be flowing and traveling on the ground. So we use the pond to collect the water on ground, and the right field to collect the water on the ground. How to collect the water is that in the pond we make like a step or berm, which is in our pond we don't have only the water, but we have fish. We have the water plant, and then we have a place for the fish to sleep or to or stay, like, and as well as to reduce the erosion from the soil, erosion, to keep soil less of the erosion. So, and then the benefit of those, we got the in the water, in the pond environment biodiversity. We can eat, we can separate it, we can spread the humid throughout around the pond. Then in the right field, we create the ridge, the big ridge. If we create the high ridge, we make the higher ridge. We can collect more water on the right field. And on the ridge, we plant any kind of plant, such as the banana, ginger, herbs, and some kind of small fruit. And we have a income. We have the fruit, the hygiene food, the clean food. So this is not only for the environment, but we have the stability of the water, and we have the stability of the environment, of the air that you staying around, as well as the economic, that we can collect any kind of the benefits of the tree level, a tree level, the plant tree level. So this is the Koh Nong Na model, which is I would like to share you and give you some idea with one picture. And then the next one would be I will show you the slide which takes about 3.5 minutes to explain, and then in terms of tangible that Thai farmer people in our country doing. Let's show you. Sorry.
Dindi.
The voice may be in Thai, but we have the description in English.
เกื้อกูลชีวิต นี่คือดินและน้ำที่มีชีวิตและเปี่ยมด้วยจิตวิญญาณอันเกิดจากการลงมือทำของต่อวงปุ้ยพันธวงศ์ต่อวงปุ้ยพันธวงศ์หรืออาจารย์ต่ออดีตรองคณบดีมหาวิทยาลัยชื่อดังของไทยที่แม้อนาคตแห่งการงานจะรุ่งโรจน์สดใสรออยู่แต่ในวันที่ได้รู้จักกับศาสตร์พระราชาและเข้าใจอย่างท่องแท้อาจารย์ต่อได้ค้นพบพลังที่หลับไหลระเบิดจากข้างในตัดสินใจ Early Retire และลงมือทำทันทีเอาเรื่องน้ำก่อนที่นี่เป็นเขตเงาฝนแล้งทีนี้วิธีการจัดการน้ำบ้านผมข้างหลังเนี่ยขุดเป็นแก้มลิงเอามาพักไว้ในที่เราก็ขุดเป็นช่องเข้ามาแล้วเอาดินขึ้นไปทำเป็นขั้นบันไดแล้วอาจารย์ก็แนะนำหนองน้ำแนวตั้งให้ทำแท้งน้ำยักษ์กองไส้ไก่ก็ช่วยกระจายความชุ่มชื้นในกองไส้ไก่เราก็ทำแบบที่อาจารย์สอนขุดหลุมขนมครกทำฝายชะลอน้ำฝายดักตะกอนบ้างอะไรบ้างและพลังงานที่ใช้ก็ใช้โซลาร์เซลล์ทีนี้เรื่องดินลูกรังเนี่ยขาดอินทรีย์วัตถุกับขาดความชื้นก็ใช้หลักกสิกรรมธรรมชาติเติมความชื้นเข้าไปเติมความชื้นเหมือนว่าขุดคลองไส้ไก่อินทรีย์วัตถุก็ใช้วิธีการห่มดินใบไม้ร่วงเยอะเอาใบไม้มาสุมรวมกันเราก็ไม่ต้องไปซื้อไปหาแล้วก็บางส่วนเนี่ยมันเหลือเยอะๆผมก็มาทำเป็นปุ๋ยหมักกองไว้ก็เอาไว้ใช้ห่มดินแห้งชามน้ำชามไม่ปอกเปลือกเปลือยดินแล้วก็บางส่วนผมก็ใช้แฝกพื้นที่ขุดใหม่แล้วก็ปลูกแฝกไปด้วยป้องกันการซอกการทลายของดินช่วยเติมความชื้นลงไปในดินโดยใช้รากของแฝกใช้แบบนี้ทำซ้ำๆมาดินถูกพัฒนาขึ้นพอตอนหน้าฝนผมสังเกตไส้เดือนนี่จะโผล่แบบทุกก้าวที่เดินจะเหยียบไส้เดือนทุกก้าวดินฟูคืนสภาพหอมเห็ดโคนขึ้นต้นบุกเยอะมากไอ้นี่ก็เป็นดัชนีชี้วัดหลายๆเรื่องเกี่ยวกับเรื่องดินที่บ้านผมโดยการที่เราทำอย่างนี้ค่ะผลจากความสำเร็จผ่านการลงมือทำอาจารย์ต่อได้ส่งต่อพลังไปยังเครือข่ายอีกหลายส่วนทั้งในระดับบุคคลชุมชนเด็กและเยาวชนรวมถึงในระดับลุ่มน้ำเพื่อเร่งทำให้แผ่นดินได้กลับมามีชีวิตเตรียมพร้อมรับมือกับทุกวิกฤตได้ทันท่วงที
So that is a kind of short movie that maybe illustrate you what I'm talking about, the tangible thing, and at my house, as my experience. So the one thing that I would like to add at the end of the presentation today is actually I don't have to pay for the water bill nearly maybe 7 years. So which is I have the stability in water by collect the water everywhere. Even my house, like I create a high tank, something like that, as we said in the video. So the last thing, I would like to thank you very much for everyone. And then if we have anything to exchange, to share, and have some more questions after this day, we may contact me at the address around there. So thank you very much.
Many thanks to you, Dr. Torvung. It was very good presentation and also a very nice video. For those of you, like participants that had issues watching the video because of connectivity issues, I put the link to it in the chat so you can have a look at it also afterwards. And I think it was very nice to have this insight from a farmer's perspective. So thank you very much. With this presentation, we end the first part of the webinar, and we can have some time to have some interactive discussion with our participants and also answer some of the questions in the Q&A. I saw that Dr. Surendran was very active in answering some questions already. I would like to ask Dr. Hossein, sorry, I use a simplified version of your name, to please maybe answer some of the questions that are in the Q&A, maybe starting from this one. I want to ask that direct rice seeding impact on changing climate give positive results. In what percentage do you favor this method under what soil condition? So this is for Dr. Hossein from Iran.
Yeah. Could you let me know the question once more, please?
Yeah, you can also open the Q&A and
Yeah,
read them if you like. So basically, they're asking about direct seeding, the impact of direct seeding on changing climate, if you get positive results, and in what percentage do you favor this method under what soil condition?
Yes. For the direct rice seeding, we almost decrease the irrigation water, something about 50%, as I mentioned in the presentation. And of course, we were facing the less years in the field, but as a total, the productivity was higher. Actually, right now in Iran, as I showed a map of Iran, we are facing the water crisis very seriously. So for this rice planting, the dry seeding is developing widely. Even in the north and south of the country, we are working on that because there is significantly has decreased the water withdrawal and also the applied water to the farms. This is my answer.
Thank you very much. And can we categorize the soil according to EC and pH for DRS method?
I guess no. For the dry seeding, the answer is yes, because the EC and also pH may be accumulated. So sometimes we have a heavy rainfall in those areas. So maybe it doesn't work to categorize the soil. But in the dry area, the answer is yes. We have to categorize the soil EC and pH for the rice planting. Yes.
Thank you very much. I see a hand up, which is great from our participants. Dr. Pitayakon, I'm allowing you to talk. So please, the floor is yours. And next will be Fozia Memon from Pakistan. So first, Dr. Pitayakon from Thailand, please.
So that is my mistake to put the hand up. So I have some. I appreciate the Thai Dr. Thawan also present about the Khok Nong Nam model. That is maybe the way of the farmer to survive in the situation of the something like climate change. That is appreciated, and also appreciated the professor from Iran that he present about his work and maybe workable in the future. Thank you very much.
Thanks to you, Dr. Pitayakon. Let me pass the floor to Ms. Fozia from Pakistan, please. Fozia, you should be allowed to talk now.
Yeah, thank you, Lucrezia, and thank you all. And the presentations were very nice and giving collective knowledge for the water management and new technologies. But I have a question about the last presentation where this model was adopted. what was the rainfall rate annually, or if possible, give the picture for quarter, and this where this model is adopted and what percentage, please.
All right.
Did you get my question? Actually, I forget to pronounce your name. It's very difficult.
Okay. You would like to see my information and the picture again, right? Okay. Let me show you a little bit. Wait a second, please. Yeah, we actually, I think the Khok Nong Na model can be adopted in any country. Actually, right now, it's not only in Thailand. We actually planning to go to India to apply in India as well, and some country in Africa, and many country in around Thailand, like Laos, Cambodia, and Myanmar, for example. So let me show. Right, can you see? This is my contact. You can contact me via the Facebook, Line, and IG, TikTok, email, and mobile phone. So you can capture pictures. And another thing that you would like to see. Yes, this is the picture of the diagram of the model. So you can see from the video, I have actually don't use the pipe, don't use the kind of tube. I created a small canal to let the water flow around our land, to create the humus of the land, and the water can absorb the soil around the small canal that we dig. It can absorb the water in our land. So this is the thing that I would like to add. Is it okay, everyone?
I get it. Wrong. Thank you.
Thanks. We cannot hear you, Lucrecia.
Yes, Lucrecia, we cannot hear you.
Sorry, I was just saying that I could not hear Dr. Singh, that he had to unmute himself, but I had to do the same. Dr. Singh, over to you, please.
Actually, I was going to add some word regarding your question. You said about the biology. Actually, we determined the best forecasting model for the controlling the codling moths and powdery mildew disease in the orchards, and we use those information for the for that technology we applied for the orchards. This is it, yeah.
Thank you. Dr. Singh, please, over to you. I see your hand up.
So thank you. It was very nice, informative talks today. So thank you for allowing us to be the part of this webinar. So my question is to Dr. Hussain. Sir, in that direct seeded rice, when we go for this direct seeded rice with respect to the conventional, that is the puddled rice, do you think that in the puddled rice, when we are going for the puddled rice, we are compacting the soil and decreasing the groundwater recharge?
Actually, for the puddling rice, yes, we're compacting the soil, we believe, because we would like to decrease the infiltration. So when it's happening, So it may affect underground water because we decrease the inflow to the ground, underground.
And any data on that?
I guess we didn't measure those data in the experiments I already explained in my presentation. But if is needed, I could check with my colleagues to see any available data.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
This is actually a good question that links us to your presentations, Dr. Singh and Dr. Kaur, right, on groundwater. But before getting there, I have a question myself, actually, for Dr. Hossein and Dr. Surendran. Oh, Dr. Surendran, I see you have your hands up. Maybe you want to go first, please.
No, in addition to Dr. Hussein's point, just we also measured that DSR as well as transplanted rice, and we found that the water usage or water productivity is higher in DSR, and definitely that is acceptable. But if, with respect to groundwater recharge at plot level, our water balance studies showed that DSR performed better. But if you look at the watershed scale or the other way, in Kerala, we found that during extreme events, actually this paddy fields act as the floodplains. So that is not happening under extreme events. So it needs a detailed study whether it is actually happening or not. But plot level study showed that the groundwater recharge is higher in the case of DSR because their puddling and other compacting we are not doing. Thank you. Thank you.
Can I add something? Yeah. Actually, those question is raising by the colleagues from the India side. We are facing such a question in Iran as well. But at the end, we have learned we should look at those water, the underground or the others. How is sharing in the platform of the water accounting? So for the water accounting, even in the dry seeding, we do consider how much we could decrease the water transfer, water evaporation from the rice field. So as much as we decrease the water evaporation, we could say we have saved the water through the decrease the water withdrawal or through the water depletion in the farm. Thank you. Yes, your question.
Yeah, my question is to you and Dr. Surendran. It's a bit of a selfish question because FAO, especially the Office from Asia and the Pacific, is about to kick off a work on assessing the impacts of different sustainable soil management practices in different agroecological zones with a focus on cash crops. So we are trying to connect soil data with water data and also crop data in terms not only of yields, but also in terms of nutrient content of crops. So I was wondering if your studies can contribute to this work and if you would be interested, but I'm actually making a call also to participants if they feel like they have the expertise to do it, to join the working group that we are going to establish for carrying on this work.
From my side, answer is yes. For sure, we would like to be a part of your group and support the team.
Thank you.
From my side also same yes. Actually, we'll be happy to contribute because many nutrient budgeting studies, exactly as what you pointed out, we have the yield, crop productivity, water productivity, as well as the soil nutrient status post-harvest, then nutrient content in the crops as well. So definitely, if it is helping, we'll be ready to contribute that.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I will follow up with you separately. And again, I extend the call for joining the working group to any participants that feel like contributing to this activity. Please send me an email and I will be happy to involve you. Now, before moving, I thank you all for your presentations. They were fantastic. And also, I think the discussion was very interesting. Before moving into the last part of the webinars that will deal with groundwater management, I would like to ask another couple of questions to our participants, because they heard a lot now in this first hour of the webinar, but now maybe it's time for them to tell us what they're doing in their country. So let me share my screen once more. Again, we will use Mentimeter. And the question is the following. What water harvesting techniques are in use in your country? Water harvesting techniques, what do you use? I'm reporting the link also in the chat as before. And there you have also the QR code in case you feel more comfortable. What water harvesting techniques are in use in your country? Let me show you answers. Soil conservation techniques. What else? You got a lot of inspirations here. Maybe you also have some model like the one presented by Thailand. Here they come, small scale impounding project in Iran, dams. Anything else also looking at farmers, something that your country is really promoting or farmers are using because of their traditions and culture? While you write, let me ask you the second and last question. What soil water management techniques are in use in your country? Let's see also if you feel a difference in definition here. So water harvesting and water management techniques. I'm putting the link to this last question in the chat. And let me get to the answers. Let's see. Okay, this is again related to water harvesting techniques. They said again, check dams, VCBs, recharge pits, rooftop rainwater harvesting in India. Yes, I read news about it. It's very interesting. In Thailand, they also apply the model that was presented by Dr. Torvong and construction of ponds. Let's see the answers to the other questions. So water management. Let's see. Okay, so in terms of soil water management, they use alternate wetting and drying. Nothing special in most part of Iran, okay? What else? Let's see. Water harvesting techniques again, small ponds and plastic bins. Soil water management. You see here we have some fertile ground. Let's see, maybe our next speakers can tell us more about soil water management in relation to groundwater, maybe. So let me give the floor to the next speakers, and then eventually we go back to the answers to these two questions. So the next two speakers are from India. They are Dr. Singh professor and head at the Department of Soil and Water Engineering at Punjab Agricultural University. He will tell us about brackish groundwater management. And then we also have the pleasure to have Ms. Samanpreet Kaur, Principal Scientist, again at the Department of Soil and Water Engineering at Punjab Agricultural University in India, that will tell us about groundwater resources management in general. So Dr. Singh and Dr. Kaur, the floor is yours, please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Garajia, and that is giving the very, you can say, golden opportunity for the ideas for groundwater management, especially practice groundwater management. And so, good morning to everybody and all the participants. And so, just I'm going to share. Basically, already Lucrezia has given my introduction. Myself again, I am Dr. J.P. Singh, Professor and Head, Department of Soil and Water Engineering, College of Agricultural Engineering and Technology, Punjab Agricultural University, Ludhiana, India. I have 28.5 years of experience in the teaching and research. So basically, my research area is this one, management of brackish groundwater and salt-affected waterlogged soils. So basically, I will main focus is my on brackish groundwater management, and it is a very, you can say, burning area, and it is a soil are very much salt affected. So how that this one salt is reaching down to the groundwater, and it is very difficult to, you can say, irrigate. It's difficult to tap the good quality water, and difficult to grow in that area with the groundwater, which is brackish in nature, which is salt affected in salinity and alkalinity. So my next. So just some showing some area that will be the completely, you can say, waterlogged with soil salinity, alkalinity. So just see, it is a picture we can say in 90s. All these areas are completely with the few rain, then all are that is completely waterlogged. Even the farmers are not in position to grow, cultivate the area for so many years. Even you can say around 10 to 15 years. So completely this is degraded and barren land. So, but again, the can see these are the area completely, you can say this is submerged, and it is reaching down, not percolating, and what that this area is out of cultivation, and it is created soil is completely, you can say, it is salt affected salinity and alkalinity in these soils, and no crop in position to grow in this area. So see, this is the completely, even the some few crops are started growing, but due to waterlogging, it is completely damaged, not in position to grow and not position cultivate. Even in the Kharif and even the Rabi crops, in the summer crops, also not in position to that. So some drainage technology that will be adapted in this area. So see, this will be completely submerged, even the crop is grown, and then crop, all this crop is damaged. So this is the salt. How the salt appeared on the surface. Just when the water is completely percolated down, and the salt is left on the surface, and even the Rabi crops and wheat cannot grow in that area. So what the farmers are doing, farmers are taking the soils from the other area and just spreading over on this salt portion. So other sides you are looking, that is the soils over spread over the salt, and they are going for one season, and the next season again the salt is coming up. So under such conditions, this will be the some engineering technology required, how the salt completely removed and how the salt completely leach down to the, you can say, out from the soil root zone. So this is completely, this is the Punjab region, Punjab, India, how this was the completely the slope and water will be moving. This is a complete, you can say, drainage network, drainage and irrigation and drainage network, canal network. And then this will be the 3-4 rivers, Ravi rivers and Byas, Satluj river, and all this is the canal network. So that see the slope is toward the northeast to southwest direction. Whatever the picture I have shown to you, that is the southwest direction, southwest part of this state. And this southwest part, this is the completely canal network. That is one of the region for the creating the waterlogging, and also you can say groundwater also flow in this and having the very narrow aquifers, and that is coming to water is coming up. And in this region, the geology is in such a way that that is the salt. So all salt is coming to that, and the water and groundwater becomes a brackish, becomes salinity. That is not even used for the irrigation purpose, and drinking purpose is never possible in that area. So people from these areas managing anyhow their water by using the canal waters and maximum with the mixing of the groundwater for agricultural purpose. But for drinking purpose, then they are dependent again from the water that is supplied by the government through the some canal water treatment and giving for their water supply, drinking water supply. So this one completely some district part of the district, around 5-6 districts, which were one time completely cotton belt area. But due to the waterlogged area for last 2 decades, this is completely out from that. And the most of this cotton belt converted to the now coming to the rice cultivation and wheat cultivations, and that is also created. And presently also, despite of the lot of engineering interventions for drainage network and subsurface drainage installations, and still about 80,000 hectare area is affected by the waterlogging and salinity problems. And waterlogging is mainly due to region, I have already told, due to the dense canal network in these regions. One of the regions that will be sipping the water from the canals, from the channels, and also non-withdrawal of the poor quality groundwater. I have told the groundwater is brackish in nature. That is not found for the irrigation and even not found for the drinking purposes. So that is already in the reservoir, groundwater reservoir, water is completely from canal that will be percolated, and then that will be creating the problem for the waterlogging due to the excess use of, and drainage network is not inadequate to come in. So this groundwater quality in many parts of these districts is deteriorated with the depth. If you go for the depth, the deeper depth, and more salinity is found in this groundwater. So the department has planned for this technology for the salt affected waterlogged soils. That will be the 4 technology. One is multiple well point systems, and that is the multiple well point system is multiple well that will be installed. So if you tap this one good quality water floating over the ground, poor quality groundwater. How the you can say fresh quality water after the canal water. So once it will be the irrigation purpose and rainwater on the field, that will be the leaching down. Once it will be leaching down, then this will be the due to the you can say lower density. It is floating over the poor quality water. So then the department has developed the system that is a multiple well point system to tap that poor quality water that will be over the good quality water floating over the poor quality, and installation of subsurface drainage system so that this surface water logged and subsurface water logged can be cleaned from the root zone so that crop cultivation can be done. Also the biodrainage system, some plants having the high water requirements like popular plants and eucalyptus plants that can be grown in that area, and that is also you can say depleting the down water table in that area. And then cyclic use of poor quality groundwater and canal water, and mixing of this water, that can be also one of the way to pump few water so that you can say main purpose to drop down the water table. So today I will explain this first and fourth technology because time is very less, so I'm not going much detail. So this will be some data on that groundwater quality. See, this is some block is there with different districts. You find the electrical conductivity that represent the soil salinity. So maximum electrical conductivity in the 4-5 districts is above 2.5 and 3, 2. So something in some district having the good for suitable for irrigation, and even some district having not suitable for after mixing with the canal water. So this is the data, and this is the depth-wise water table. If groundwater table, if you go the depth of water table about more than 2 meters, you can find that just below the 2 meter water table is there, and that water table, you find the brackish water after 25 meters, then there will be saline water is present. Means Up to, if you see the first example, my lord, so just below 3 meters water table, and after 25 saline water or brackish water will be there. So 20 meters, generally 25 meters, we have the depth of fresh water that is floating over the brackish water. So our now technology to how to tap this 20-meter fresh water that can be used for the irrigation purposes. So for this, the technology is developed that is called multiple well point system technology. So before that, I'm explaining, once we are pumping that water from the one tube well, one well is installing. Suppose this is the one well installed in the freshwater zone, and just see the below is a brackish water poor quality. So what happened, once we started pumping, that is started pumping, then this drawdown is created, and this the brackish groundwater is lifting up coning effect, that is called about 40 times. If we create the 1 meter 1 feet of drawdown, the 40 feet below that will be the uplift, the lifting takes place. So this is called up coning. This has one relationship around that relationship. We can find this will 40 times water. That's why if you pump that water with a single well, so it is not possible to tap this much of the fresh water available here. So for that, we have developed that this is the multiple well point system. In this multiple well point system, around 70 to 100 centimeters below, we have the common pipe, pump is on the surface, and then there will be the multiple, you can say bore is there, well is there, that will be the having a very low discharge. That will be the around hardly 2 to 3 liter per second discharge. So if with the 4 or 5 for that will be the 10 to 12 liter per second discharge, that will we can get it from the one multiple well point system. So what happened in this, because of the lower discharge, their drawdown is very less, and that will be the drawdown, that will be, you can say that is, you can say mixing to each other. Then this will be the lesser drawdown, and due to the lesser drawdown, upconing takes place. Just see, upconing is there. So brackish groundwater is moving up, but this is not up to that, so that will affect the screen, where screen is placed in that. So in this way, we have the 3 meter from the ground surface over the blind pipe, and below 3 meter we are going. That will be the main depth of freshwater depth zone. We are having the screen zone. So in this zone, then that will be tapping the waters, and that is, you can say, good for the irrigation purposes. This is the complete pictures for small farmers. We have the 4 well point pipe systems, 6 meter apart, having 16-25% screen perforated area, and that will be pumped. And cost is coming around 70 to 80,000 per multiple well point. And the recommendation has come out, if 4 well pipe systems lined about 6 meter apart, so that will be the pumping from discharge is not more than 3 liter per second per well. That I have told you is 2 to 2.5 liter per second, and the effective perforated area of the screen around 16%, surrounded by the pea-sized gravel, clean riverbed gravel, and 3 meter plant pipe along the 3 meter screen is enough to meet the desired discharge. Now next one is cyclic use of canal water and groundwater. So the 4 treatment has taken place. One is for canal water, and second one is 2 part of the canal water, 1 part of tube well water, and third one is 1 canal water, 1 tube well, and this one is 1 canal water and 2 tube well water. So what happened in this? The last result has come. Just a minute. One not showing one my result. So just I'm explaining here. Just see. Once 1 canal water, the yield for the paddy crop, this is treatment has taken for paddy crop and wheat crop. So no doubt, the if canal irrigated with the canal water, that will be the good result, very good result. But once we are going for the 2 canal water and 1 tube well water, that is also at par with the 1 canal water. But this is what the 1 canal water, 1 tube well water, this is a result, yield is very less. And 1 canal here, I wrong here written 2 tube well water, 2 times tube well water, then also result is very, very less. So these 2 result is not even satisfactory. But this one result in this way, after using 2 times canal water, then we can replace with the third one is the tube well water. So that result, the yield is at par with the, you can say, irrigating with the canal. So this is all about you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to you, Dr. Singh. I would like to give the floor to Dr. Kaur, and then we take questions all together. So please, Dr. Kaur, over to you. And meanwhile, I kindly invite all participants to start raising their questions through the Q&A box. Thanks.
Thank you, Lucrezia. So now I'll be sharing my screen. So is it visible?
Yes, if you can please put it in presentation mode.
Yeah, sure. So I'll be continuing with Dr. JP Singh's presentation. I'll be giving presentation on the groundwater resource management, specifically the work we have been doing in the Punjab state. So to start with, I'm presenting a slide showing the groundwater storage trends around the world, and you can see these are in the 37 largest aquifers of the world, and they are showing the depletion as well as the replenishment rate in millimeter per year. And you can see that the place where we belong, it is in the red zone, and it is significantly distressed in terms of groundwater use. So taking it further, so if we look at the historical timeline, the things were not that bad in 1960s. In the 18th century, if we see our land, even in the Pakistan, it was quite. You can see that there was very less this cultivation of rice wheat system, and there were no tube wells. And coming to 1960, we had good canal network. In the British era, we developed the canal network, and then we had this rice wheat systems, but there were the number of tube wells, they were limited. But when we came to 2010, we can see large number of individual pumps are there, and the monoculture of rice wheat system with the cropping intensity of 200%, it has led to the decline in groundwater levels. And if we look at the canals that were made, the canal water in 1917 was
I'm sorry, you're breaking a lot. Can you speak closer?
But it has decreased in 2018, and it has lowered much further. And if we look, has been decrease in the canal irrigated area, and over the years there has been increase in the groundwater irrigated area, and we can see that in almost all the provinces, the optimal number of tube wells per square kilometers, they are defined in these numbers. 16, you can see it is for one of the provinces, that is Amritsar, and if we look at Tarantaran, it is 14. But in all the provinces, we have exceeded this capacity, and we are having 33 tube wells per square kilometer in Amritsar, and 31 in per square kilometer in Tarantaran. And you can see in almost all the provinces, this is the trend, except in the Muktsar, where they are very close to the required number of tube wells. But that area, as Dr. JP Singh has already mentioned, it is the area where there's a problem of waterlogging, and much of the canalization is there, canal water is there. So as a result, almost all the administrative blocks, they have become overexploited. we have more than 76% of the blocks, they have been overexploited. So what our group is doing, like, first of all, our focus has been throughout the years to bring transparency to this invisible resource. So we have been spatio-temporally mapping these resources, the groundwater levels, and we have been reclassifying them to make them more understandable to the farmers. And you can see we have classified them into 4 zones here, and this is the figure of 1998, and this is the figure of 2023, and we can see how there has been shift in the depth of the tube wells and how groundwater has deepened over the years. So we are facing a fall of 48 centimeter per year on the long-term basis. So to take this further to farmers, we have gone in print media, in journals, and through popular articles, we have been advocating that our groundwater levels, they are depleting, to raise concerns among the farmers. So another aspect that we covered was like, to make these maps accurate, we checked the adequacy of the existing monitoring network, and we found out that nearly 227 new monitoring networks, these have to be spaced in these areas, the one shown in the red colors, and there are certain which we can reduce also. There are some wells which are not needed, and they are redundant wells also. So then going to the field, before going to the field, we did some studies to see where we can go for groundwater recharge, because one way is to reduce the demand, and other way is to increase the supplies through groundwater resource augmentation. So we mapped the areas which were favorable for the groundwater recharge. So we find out, like in one of the area, we find out about 63% of the area where we can go for direct recharge of groundwater. So the first technology which I'll be discussing is the rooftop rainwater harvesting technology. Now this technology, it's a very simple setup in which we have the desiltation tank, then the filtration unit, and then the outlet chamber, which is further connected to a recharge well. And in this, basically, in most of the structures that we see for the rainwater harvesting, there are vertical structures. And in the vertical structure, what happens is, once the filter gets clogged, the recharge rate decreases. In this structure, there is these both the screens, they can be easily lifted, and the gravels, they will fall in the chamber itself, and we can clean these gravels and then put back for the continual recharge. Another thing is that we had, because our water table had gone down, so the existing wells, that was basically we were using centrifugal pumps, and then due to the deepening of water table, we had to shift for the submersible pumps. So the existing wells, the layer, so these structures were cleaned, and then the water, because the tube well is generally on the high point, the water was diverted from the fields into the desiltation chamber, and from the desiltation chamber, it was being diverted into these abandoned wells, these cleaned wells, and they were very good source for recharge, groundwater recharge. So excess rainwater or the surplus canal waters, whenever it is available, they can be diverted into these structures. They are hydraulically connected with the aquifers. So the recharge rate that we get is about 8 to 10 liters per second from each structure. So this is again a view of how we have modified the system to get the water into these structures. Then another is, because urbanization is taking place at a very fast pace. Even if we look at Ludhiana district, it is increasing by 2% per decade. And with this urbanization, the recharge has decreased. So this is the view of whenever a heavy storm is there in the city. So we are going, we have done some studies on this low impact development structure. So we would modify the structure in such a way that the ground that the excess runoff enters into these cells. These are known as the bioretention cells. So they are basically filled with engineered soil and then these gravels, and this structure acts as a storage space for water and also enhances the groundwater recharge, plus it manages the storm runoff. So this is how the structure is. You have the gravels, and then there's the under drain, and then it is on the upper, it is filled with the pea gravel, and at the top, it is filled with a mix of coarse sand, biochar, and compost. And you can see during a heavy storm, the water being diverted into these structures, and this is the view they provide. They are also aesthetically also this structure add to the beauty of the landscape. And if we look at the results, there has been a reduction of 86 to 92% flow reduction was observed in these structures. And apart from that, the total suspended solid removals, the nitrate removals, the phosphorus removals, and total nitrogen removal, we saw significant changes in these quality parameters. Specifically, TSS removal, about 90% of TSS removal was achieved. And that's all. Maybe out of sight, but it should never be out of mind. So now we are working on this GRACE-based groundwater monitoring, and we are also using these climate models and the data analytics to see to develop the spatial maps for the vulnerability. And my Google Scholar is written below. And thank you all for the attention, please.
Thanks to you, Dr. Kaur, for the very good presentation. We faced some issues, at least from my side, and listening to it all, because the connection was breaking a bit. But I think that the points and the message is clear. So thank you so much. We have a couple of questions. One was asked in the chat that now disappeared. Where is it? There was a question regarding the use of channels in the fields. So what can a farmer do if it doesn't have access to a channel? I think this was in relation to the presentation of Dr. Singh.
Yes, again, question, please. I didn't understand.
What can a farmer do if he doesn't have access to a channel, if there is not a channel nearby?
Channel means canal irrigation?
Canal, yes.
Yeah, canal. If nearby canal irrigation is not available, so then we have already developed, and farmers are very much using this multiple well point systems. They are using the multiple well point system to tap the good quality water having around 20 to 25 meters depth. So then using with that, they are with that. And plus then rainfed, if the canal irrigation is, then rainwater they are already saving there, and then using that rainwater irrigation.
Thank you very much. Then I have a question for Dr. Kaur. You mentioned that in your district or province, I'm not sure, you also launched some awareness raising campaign to indeed raise awareness on the fact that there is a groundwater depletion. So can you please tell us about the impacts of these awareness-raising campaigns? I think especially in relation to water consumption, because India, it's the most populated country in the world. So how are you dealing with this?
So in this, like when there was a DST, Department of Science and Technology sponsored project with us, in which we had to give awareness about the climate change and the water resources. So we selected few villages in different agroclimatic zones of Punjab, and there we did the pre-survey analysis. And then after giving them the education and the material for that that can contribute to the water saving. So then we also did the post analysis also. And in the even we installed rainwater harvesting structures in their residential areas or in their common places. We got installed those structures.
Okay, so actually they're having a big impact. We have hopes that people can change their habits if they are educated.
Yeah.
Good, very good to hear. Okay, let me open the floor now for other questions. If any participants would like to take the floor, please raise your hand. I will allow you to talk. You're actually right on time. So if anyone wants to make a statement, yes, I see a hand up. Dr. Hossein, please.
Yes, thank you for both of the presentation. For the second presentation, because I couldn't follow the name, sorry, the lady from the India. There was a two picture or two map where was very interested to me. The first one shows the area Punjab getting the red because of the too much underground water use. I understood, same as my country, Iran. And there was another map which shows the potential of the, you know, for the injection injection of the water into the underground. What is the relation between these two maps? I didn't get.
Okay. So in the first map, when we show that is the picture that is based upon the gray set is being extracted beyond its safe limit, beyond its sustainable limits. In the second picture, when I showed that is based upon because ours are alluvial aquifers, so based upon many layers, we have done that where we can place a recharge structures that will contribute more towards the groundwater recharge. So the second map was, yeah.
So why it not happening?
Why it's not happening? Because our extraction is much beyond the recharge, natural recharge. The natural recharge.
So do you think the second map maybe
is much beyond the natural recharge? It is 300% more in some. Yeah.
I guess I guess the second map gives the wrong hope to the policymaker. I mean, the policymaker seeing you give a green map to the policymaker, so they see always there is a potential for the water. So, but nothing happening actually. Yeah. Thank you.
No, it is
a suggestion for improvement.
Yeah, I can explain. Like it is like if we give it to the policy maker that if you place your recharge structures here, so they the groundwater resources will be much more benefited as compared if we place a recharge structure in a poor groundwater zone, recharge zone. So it won't make any difference. So if we want to make, like if there's a policy coming out that place so many dug wells there, say 100 dug wells, so the area where they have to be placed, that has been demarcated.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else would like to take the floor? If not, we are proceeding with closing the webinar. Let's see. No one else. Okay, in case I will be sharing the contact information of speakers, so you can always reach out for them, or you can also contact me and I will put you in touch. Once again, I would like to thank you very, very much, all our speakers. The presentations were fantastic, full of information that I found very useful. And I'm not a water expert, so really thank you. I hope you also inspired and brought some knowledge to our participants. So thanks again. I also thanks all participants for staying with us for these 2 hours. Again, please do not hesitate to contact us in case of questions or needs. All presentations will be shared with everybody by email, and also the video recording that I remind you will be also made available on the CESRA website together with the video recording of previous webinars. With this, I thank you once again, and I wish you a good rest of the day. See you at the next webinar. Thanks.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.